A majority of harrowing experiences that we hear about on ski hills involve avalanches or major wipeouts, but sometimes something as simple as a minute human error at the base of a ski lift can result in a terrifying ordeal further up. Today we're looking at how 5 young men at a Canadian ski resort stepped up when tragedy struck for a family of 4 earlier this year. Screaming Eagle is one of 4 chairlifts, and one of only 2 high-speed lifts at Goose Mountain in British Columbia. Built in 2005, it services thousands of visitors every year. But when he was incorrectly loaded, an 8-year-old boy was left dangling over 20 feet off the ground as his father clung desperately to his arms. The particular part of the hill they were passing over at the time was dominated by primarily children and young teens. With no adults responding to the incident, it was 13-year-old Ethan Harvey who pointed to the lift, getting the attention of his friend, 14-year-old James McDonald, who told reporters that the young boy was, quote, starting to flail about and get extremely panicked. The father was yelling for help. The kid's screaming and the dad's holding onto him by his hood and arm. McDonald instructed others to gather a length of orange safety fencing. Then he and another friend stripped padding from a nearby pole. With the supplies gathered, they stretched out the safety netting and arranged the padding on top of it. Meanwhile, the boy's father continued to hold on for dear life, praying that his son wouldn't be terribly injured if he fell. As the terrifying ordeal unfolded over 6 meters off the ground, Carolina Akoglu captured the entire event on video from a nearby balcony. As she filmed, the boys held the netting tight, and one of them, Gabriel Nielsen, told the child to kick off his skis, assuming he would land better without them. The brave young boy managed to drop both his skis as his father hung on tight. Next, the heroic teens asked him to trust them and let go. After a few seconds, the young boy tumbles toward the net, where he is safely caught. Behind the camera, Carolina is noticeably moved, saying, "Wow, they're heroes." Other people can be heard applauding, and the teens themselves celebrate, exchanging high fives and looking around in utter disbelief. As for the boy, he was completely stunned at first, but after being taken to the hospital as a precaution, it turned out that he was completely fine, thanks to these 5 fast-acting young men. Carolina later posted the video to social media, where it quickly went viral, amassing millions of views and supportive comments from people who have been inspired by the video, with many people calling the boys heroes and commending their quick thinking. In the days following the incident, the story was picked up by news outlets all over North America, and the boys have been inundated with gratitude, including the mayor of North Vancouver, who suggested the boys receive certificates and said that they were, quote, creative, courageous, and heroic. For their quick thinking, the boys have received matching hoodies, honorary Goose Hero passes, along with complimentary ski passes for the next season. As for preventing similar things from happening in the future, Cam Serene of Technical Safety BC said that people boarding the lift should be aware of their surroundings, and that those who feel they may need special assistance getting on the chair, they should notify the lift operator. As for James McDonald, he said that he simply acted out of instinct, and that what they did just came naturally. All the boys have said they don't feel particularly heroic. They saw something that had to be done, and they did it. The world definitely needs more youngsters like these 5. Unfortunately, it seems that this sort of incident occurs far too often. In 2016, a very similar rescue took place in British Columbia at Whistler Blackcomb, and again in February 2018 at Perfect North Slope, Lawrenceburg, Indiana. Back in January of 2015, a 5-year-old boy fell some 30 feet before being tended to by a volunteer firefighter who happened to be skiing nearby. Like many others, this child was fortunate to land in deep snow. However, in January 2019, a 17-year-old hockey player lost his life when he fell 20 feet into jagged rocks at Blue Mountain Resort in Ontario. Luckily for the boy at Goose Mountain, there was a group of young heroes on hand to give him a soft landing. Teens often get a bad rep for being self-involved or uncaring, but we should all remember that there are good people in the world of all ages, and when we work together, we can all make a difference. Thank you to these 5 teens for teaching us that lesson, and thank you for watching this video.